Good show tonight, folks. Good show tonight. Give me a minute. It's been a while since I did a show. Thanks to YouTube and their censorship, their fascism, the butthurt liberals running YouTube. Hey, hello, Debbie from Savannah, Georgia. Thanks for tuning in. Got a good show tonight. In for a little treat. But try to do it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. So welcome everyone to Patriot Nation TV. I'm your host, Tim Davis, aka Professor X, your new age patriot with a 1776 attitude. Just one man, one opinion, trying to connect the dots, make sense of it all in this bizarro, upside down world. It is Monday, January 24th, 2022. And there's two topics I'd like to discuss. Two topics. One is we need to stop assuming that progress and progressivism, liberalism, is always a positive. We had discussed that. We got to stop assuming that it is a positive, progressivism. And the second topic will be, it's irrational to send our sons to war in the Ukraine. So as I was saying, it's been a couple of weeks since I did a last show. Thanks to YouTube banning me. They've been shadow banning me for a long, long time. They finally had enough. They targeted a small guy like myself with only 475 subscribers. Because I did a show where I was quoting Robert F. Kennedy in his book that was recently released, talking about Fauci and Bill Gates. These are the tyrants, these globalists. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. I'll get back to that later. It kind of discouraged me a little bit, put me in a back burner where I didn't really want to do anything for a little bit. The First Amendment's important. Anyway, let me start off by saying this. One man, one opinion, critical thinker. The mind of one, I believe in individualism, not this collectivism. The mind of one free thinker can possess a million ideas. A million fanatics can have their minds possessed by a single idea. Marxism, liberalism, which is logic's retarded cousin. Yes, a million fanatics can have their minds possessed by a single idea. Progressivism. And so on and so on. Now imagine, if you will, imagine taking orders from liars, thieves, pedophiles, psychopaths, and mass murderers, and thinking you are more virtuous than those who disobey. YouTube, I'm talking to you. Censor this video, take it down. Like you did my last one, go ahead, be my guest. I don't care, because I will rehash the video you took down and that you put me in 14-day suspension. It's just a joke. It's just a joke, folks. It's really a joke. Got to remember, only tyrants and their co-conspirators wish to dumb down their own people. Only tyrants will attempt to disarm their own people. Only tyrants will want to leave their people in poverty and malnourished to ensure they are incapable of defending themselves. Only tyrants do not trust their own people with the free will to speak their minds. Take notification, YouTube. Censor me. Only tyrants do not trust their own people with their free will to speak their minds. And only the weak-minded would think this is a good idea. So it's going to bring me to what I do. What do I talk about? The irrational, how it's irrational to send our troops to Ukraine to fight a war, or the progressivism. I'm going to go with the progressivism. We need to stop assuming progress and progressivism is a positive, or it's always a positive. We need to stop it. Just stop. Franco, Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler, Castro, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, and so on and so on. The 20th century was full of dictatorships, leftists, progressives, which reached new heights of cruelty and butchery never imagined in centuries prior. Unfortunately, this cruelty flies in the face of the American belief that progress and progressivism is undeniable and decidedly positive force for humanity. That's what these people think. They think they're doing the world a positive. That's what these people think with these new ideas. I'm a big history buff. I always compare America today compared to Rome. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to go a little further back to where it all began. So let me say this. How did we ever come to the assumption that society progresses as it moves along? Why do we view our predecessors and forefathers as morally inferior to ourselves in this supposedly enlightened age? How do we do it? I don't know. Lest we think in a mindset only afflicting today's 2022, a younger generation. Let us take a look at G.K. Chesterton's The Everlasting Man's book, which was published in 1925. I've always said history stopped in 1936, probably before that, but from what I'm gathering of my information and my researches, it's 1936 with Orwell and Huxley and moving forward. So G.K. Chesterton's Everlasting Man, which was published in 1925, the book was a rebuttal to H.G. Wells' The Outline of History. Chesterton took issue with Wells in his depiction of human development and civilization. Jezebel Ramey, what's up, baby girl? Good. I'm glad you're tuning in. Happy New Year to you too. Glad you're tuning in. It's been rough. I'm being censored left and right. I'm being censored. It's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna, I got a little discouraged. I'm not gonna let it bother me. So I'm glad you're tuning in. Thank you. And Happy New Year to you too. God bless. Thank you. As I was saying, Chesterton took issue with Wells' depiction of human development and civilization. So I'm going to use, which is undeniable, the beginning of man, the beginning of time, which is Egypt. Say what you want. 1,000,000,000 years old, 10, 20,000. No. Life began, the world began with Egypt. So I'm going to go with what Chesterton said. Let's take a look at what he said. Chesterton took issues with Wells' depiction of human development and civilization, using ancient Egypt as an example. I always use Rome. I'm going to go with, I'm going to change up a little bit and go with Egypt. Yes, Debbie, the hate does hate the truth. Yes. Chesterton dissects the notion that the progressive of humanity and civilizations is inevitable march towards greater freedom, happiness, and prosperity. As he says in his book, The Everlasting Man, it is empathetically not true that the state was most apposite in the earliest age and grew more liberal in later age. The practical process of history is exactly the reverse. It is not true that the tribe began with the extreme terror of an old man in his seat and spear. It is probable, at least in Egypt, that the old man was rather a new man armed to attack new conditions. Conservatism. His spear grew longer and longer, and his throne rose higher and higher. As Egypt rose into complex and complete civilizations. That is what I meant by saying that the history of Egyptian territory is the history of the earth. That's where earth began. That's where time began, Egypt. It did. The only recorded factual history began with Egypt. I lost a little track there. So as I'm going further into it, that is what that is what he meant. I'm quoting him. That is what he meant by saying the Egyptian territory is the history of the earth, and directly denies the vulgar assumptions that terrorism can only come at the beginning and can not come at the end. That's what we hear today. We're progressing, moving forward. It cannot begin to come at the end. For Chesterton, the consolidation of power by the state may have benefits, but they come at a cost. Individualism. Individuals cede their freedom and self-determination to the state in exchange for security and stability. The larger, more complex the state and civilization, the greater the power needed to exercise any degree of control over it. Yeah, this is 6,000 years ago. Chesterton continues, we do not know what was the first condition of the more or less feudal amalgam of landowners, peasants, and slaves in a little commonwealth beside the Nile River. But it may have been a peasantry of even more popular sort. What we do know is that it was experience and education that little commonwealth lose their liberty. That absolute sovereignty is something not merely ancient, but rather relatively modern. And it is at the end of the path called progress or progressivism that man returned to the king. Throughout history, the greater emergence of state required greater amounts of power to control citizens. Much has been promised in the name of common good, only to end in genocide, famine, and failure. Hitler, Columbus, Queen Isabella, Caesar Tiberius, name it. It all ends with genocide. It all does. What we do know is that it was by experience and education that little commonwealths lose their liberty. That absolute sovereignty is something not merely ancient, but rather relatively modern, like I was saying earlier. And it is at the end of the path called progress or progressivism that men return to the king. I mean, it can't get any clearer than that. Like I said, throughout history, through the common cause, common good, civilization, yada, 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 baffle you with bullshit because you can't dazzle you with brilliance, so on and so on. Bottom line is this. Humanity is not destined to reach a higher moral plane with each successful generation. Each individual human must fight to make that happen. And the paths to figuring out how to do so and what to fight for are not straightforward as some would have us to believe. We shouldn't look down so much on previous generations of humanity. In many instances, history has proven them to be far more moral and free than those who came after them. Look at it. Our founding fathers in America, they weren't perfect. No, we have sins. Sure we do. But they knew. So that's my little take on this progressive liberalism, logic's retarded cousin. And I'm going to go on to the next topic. But before I go into that, let me just say this. In Joe Biden's, world, I get to picture Joe Biden right now. Oh, this face, this handsome face. Yeah, handsome face. Joe Biden, but he's not handsome. I am. Hang in there, folks. This is me portraying Joe Biden. Hang in there, folks. Things are going to get much worse. So I just want to say thank you to all the sons of bitches, SOBs, that voted for Biden in his record turnout. All 81 million of them. Get the F out of here with that bullshit. Just think about it. The market is crashing. Lumber is through the roof. Fuel prices have risen over $1.50 per gallon since 2016. Milk is up. Half a gallon prices are the same as the gallon prices from a year and a half ago. Real estate is unaffordable and climbing. Unemployment is up for the fourth week in a row. Inflation grew at its fastest pace in 40 years. 40 years? I'm 50 years old. In 40 years, inflation has grown at its fastest pace, wiping out any wage increases. Violent crimes are higher now than pre-pandemic. C-19. I can't even see the words anymore. I get censored. I get blocked. I get kicked off. Facebook, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, I get blocked. God forbid, one man, one opinion with 475 subscribers speaks anything. I'm a nobody. I'm a construction worker in New York City. I'm a nobody in New York. I live in New Yorkistan. Imagine that. Anyway, Joe Biden and you progressive liberals, war in Ukraine and China are becoming more and more inevitable. Check my damn head at you so-called educated sheeple heathens. that were misled by the media in the run-up for the 2020 election. Yeah, I'm bitter about that. I wasn't a big fan of Trump, but I like Trump. After I did not vote for him in 2026, but I voted for him in 2020. Liberal icons such as Bill Maher openly speaks out against Fauci, CDC, WHO. I get banned. I get kicked off YouTube, Facebook. My videos get taken down for speaking against him. But, you know, liberal icon Bill Maher can speak all he wants. Hunter Biden's laptop has been shown to actually be full of insightful information. Think about it. The last couple of years, if you or I spoke of either of these topics, your posts, my posts, of course, my posts. I have all my videos documented as proof of it. But your posts, my posts were labeled misinformation. And your fellow citizens and government labeled you a conspiracy theorist, domestic terrorist, uneducated, and so on and so on. So this brings me to my latest. What am I at 21 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna try and end this up in like 10 minutes, folks. I hate to do short videos, but everybody wants to come on. I want live people to come on and talk, discuss these things with me, but they all chicken out. Why? I don't know, but they do. They're afraid of something. I'm not afraid. I'm going to speak my mind. One man, one opinion. So I'm going to go with this. As in the days of Bush 43 in his Iraq war, and Obama with his Syria policies, these two regimes and their cronies. If war breaks out with Russia, with these same cronies under Biden, Tim Davis, aka Professor X, I personally cannot, with good conscience, be a supporter of Western aggression. Yes, Western aggression. Remember, folks, I've done plenty of videos. All wars are banker wars. And I'll post it up somewhere around here, left, right, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know where it's at anymore. Yes, I'm going to post it. They're all banker wars. That's it. All wars are banker wars. So this brings me to topic number 2. The so-called war coming up with the Ukraine. Yes, it's irrational to send our sons and daughters to war with the Ukraine. So this brings me back to another great American hero. Some may not like him. Some may disagree with him. Some may call him a traitor. You can say whatever you want to say. Me, one man opinion, I'm going to quote him. That's the great Muhammad Ali. The great Muhammad Ali. That's what he says. 1965, 67, 66. I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. Muhammad Ali famously said when asked about his opposition to the draft in the Vietnam War. Well, I ain't got no quarrel with those Russians either. Me, Tim Davis, one man, one opinion, Professor X. In 2022, Muhammad Ali said it in 1965, 66, 66. I ain't got no quarrel with those Viet Cong. Well, me, Tim Davis, one man, one opinion. I ain't got no quarrel with those Russians either. We seem to be inching closer and closer to war with Russia over Ukraine. No one in our government offers much of an explanation as to why we should do battle with Putin and his military over a country that many Americans couldn't even find on a map. Here's my globe, my little tiny globe, my little 9-inch globe. Well, actually, it's a 4-inch globe. I got a couple of globes. Show me Let me see these so-called educated Americans. Point to me on this little globe where the Ukraine is. I ain't got no quarrel with Russia. Like I said, we seem to be inching closer and closer to the war at Russia over Ukraine. No one in our government offers much of an explanation as to why we should do battle with Putin and his military over a country that many Americans cannot find on a map, much less care or rap about. The extent of our government rationale to fight yet another war. Another war. I'm 50 years old, folks. My whole life, 50 years, has been at war. From the day I was born, we were in Vietnam, till I was 5 years old, Vietnam ended. Till I was 21 with the Cold War, to the War on Terror, and so on and so on. I'm 50 years old. My whole life, that 50 years of my whole life, we've been at war. With who? For what? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me in the comments. Leave a comment. Let me see. So the extent of our government rationale to fight yet another war, thousands and thousands. My father fought in a war thousands of miles, 1,000 miles away, back in 65 to 67. My grandfather's, World War II, and so on and so on. The extent of our government's rationale to fight yet another war, thousands of miles from home. And here's the catch. On the Russian doorstep seems to be nothing other than Putin is bad. Putin is bad. Some commentators believe that the Biden administration may be desperately looking for a casus belli or a situation to justify war. So to distract Americans from Biden's track record, in 1 year, the Biden administration has done tremendous damage to this country and is now looking for any excuse to shift voter attention away from disasters raging from Afghanistan to inflation to COVID, policies to our southern border crisis, and the list goes on and on and on. This is why I always say, keep your eyes on the folks. Keep your eyes on the ball, folks. Keep your eyes on the ball. It's wag the dog, wag the tail, wag the war. But here's the thing. I don't want American soldiers coming home in body bag. I'm 50. Like I said, I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years old. A lot of my friends have children and kids that are in their early 20s, late teens. I have a stepson, 20. But here's the thing. I tell them, do not go to war. Do not sign up for the military. You want to sign up? I said, don't do it. Just as my father, a Vietnam veteran, an E6 interrogator, told me, don't do it, son. Don't do it. It's another story. But here's the thing. Like I said, I don't want American soldiers coming home in body bags as a distraction. I don't want our military or morale and fighting spirit seem dampened these days. We just fought a 20-year war and lost it in Afghanistan. Dampened these days, like I was saying. Fighting against a powerful a very powerful Russian military on its own border. The supply logistics alone are a nightmare. We're going to lose. We're going to lose bad. NATO's garbage. We're a paper tiger. Nukes. Take the nukes out, we're going to get our asses kicked. Nobody wins a nuclear war. What do I got here? Mike Underwood. Hey, Mike Underwood. Hello. Good to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. You were a loyal follower. And I thank you and salute you, sir. I'm glad you tuned in. Yes, I've been shadow banned for a long time, and now I've been censored. I'm hot. And this idiot, I don't even know, Amtum Aku, whatever, he just posted something on 2 seconds ago. Do not hit that. It's a virus. It's probably one of YouTube's scandalous people to hack your account. Do not hit it. He will be deleted. Yes, Mike. I'm sure you haven't heard from me. I'm sure you haven't. I've been shadow banned left and right. Obviously, you know I've been shadow banned left and right. YouTube took down I did one of my best videos, believe it or not. I don't mean to get off topic, people. If you're tuning in, I don't mean to get off topic, but I'm talking to Mike Underwood, who's been with me for my original video a year and a half ago. My very first video. He was my second subscriber. Believe it or not. Mike Underwood, thank you. God bless. Appreciate your support. And I will always remember you. You were my second subscriber. Yes, you were, sir. And Jezebel Remy was my first subscriber, believe it or not. That's why I gave her a shout out. It's amazing that my first and second subscribers are tuning in a year and a half later. I haven't heard from these people in a year and a half. Here they are tuning in. I'm glad you're tuning in. Thank you. God bless. And I appreciate your support. I'm glad. YouTube's been screwing with me. So I got off track there, folks. It's like I was saying, I don't want American soldiers coming home in baddie bags. I really don't. Or fighting against a powerful Russian military at its own border. Because we're going to get our asses kicked. We are. We're going to get our asses kicked. Yet that nightmare is looking like a very real possibility at American greatness. It's a new conservative thing. I dabble into things. I'm a nobody. 475 subscribers. So if you're new to the show, checking it out, please hit like, subscribe, help me out. I'm not into for money. I'm not into for making profits. I just want my country to and my fellow citizens to be aware what's going on. So at American Greatness, which is a new conservative thing that has a lot more clout than I do, one of their hosts and person who speaks a lot, Julia Gorin, describes a horrific conversation with, of all people, her hairstylist. I read everything. I read a lot. I read a lot. Hey, James, what's up, baby? James Fight, my man, James Fight, another guy, probably my 6th or 7th subscriber. He's been around for a long time. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So let me not get distracted. But thank you, James. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I salute you too. I'm glad I'm starting to see 3 of my 5 original subscribers are tuning in tonight for the first time in over like 9 months, 10 months. Oh my God. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Without just a thumbs up, that's all I need. Whether it's one subscriber, whether it's 475 subscribers, one person watching, or 475 people watching, I'm going to do what I got to do. The day I got not one person tuning in, the day I got not one person hitting like, you know what, even if that day comes, I'm not going to be silenced by this BS. Just one man, one opinion. I love my country. I hate my government, but I love my country. I love my fellow American. Whether you're Irish, Italian, Haitian, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love your support. Please keep supporting me. Keeps me motivated. I was a little discouraged. Like I said, I'm going on. What am I on there? 35 minutes. Wow. All right. I'm all right. Let me end this. So let me get back to this. Julia Gorin is part of this American Greatness, this new conservative thing that's on YouTube. She's, I don't have a green room. I'm in my freaking laundry room with a couple of pictures. All right. That's the bottom line. Anyway, this woman, Julia Gorin, describes her horrific conversation with all people, her hairstylist. I come across with people I work with. It's another topic I'm going to talk about one day. I got good shows coming up, folks. So please tune in. Please share this message. Let everybody know what's going on. I need help. But anyway, like I said, one person or 1,000 people, it don't matter. I'm not in it for money. I'm in it for you, me, America. She mentions that a high-ranking Air Force officer who had come into that morning for a haircut told her, out of the blue, that the United States was preparing. This is only like 2 weeks, like 10 days ago. The United States was preparing for a war at Russia over the Ukraine. This officer, whom the stylist boyfriend has known for 35 years, has been coordinating with the Marines over the exchange of various weapons. Remember, war's a profit. War's a racket. Like other observers, Gorin sees such a conflict as a means to take our attentions off the failed policies of the current administration. If we were to talk about a war to defend Taiwan, or Saipan, my views may be entirely different. I doubt it though, but I can make an argument for why. We have a long relationship with the free citizens of Taiwan. We also share a strong economic bond. That tiny country in the world's largest is the world. That tiny country, Taiwan, is the world's largest manufacturer of chips. Chips for your phone, computer, car. Yes, they're the largest manufacturer of chips. The chips that the government's going to put, the New World Order, is going to put into your arm and your forehead to buy or sell. That's why I'm a little suspect about it. I don't mean Dorito chips. And these are vital to our national security in a human sect of reality. We have a very real interest in the survival of that island and nations such as Saipan, Taiwan, etc., etc. And yet, despite all the Chinese saber rattling of the last year, our government continues to take aim at the Russians. Why? Our government used the Russians in 1914 with the Bolsheviks, Lenin. I'm going to do a video on that too. I got a lot of videos I'm going to do. I just got to be careful because I get censored. I get shut off. I get my videos taken down. And only 475 subscribers. Please share, hit like, hit share, subscribe if you're new to the show. Share the hell out of this video. What did my buddy say, James? The deep state has to start a war strictly for the. Yes, James, you are correct. The deep state, these corrupt New World Order globalists, do need to start a war strictly for diversions purposes. We have NATO, which is useless. James, good point. NATO and the United Nations, along with the U.S., they're useless. Message groups and other equipment on the Russian border. Government is the problem. James, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. Wow, what am I on there? 40 minutes. Let me get off this. Let me try to end this. And yet, despite all the Chinese saber rattling of the last year, our government continues to take aim at Russians. Why? They're not my enemy. They're not my enemy. They're not. Ask yourselves, why is this? Why that is? Could it possibly be that American politicians and corporations are in cahoots with the Chinese? I say absolutely. NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB, all are big corporate bread and circuses, folks. They're absolutely 100% in cahoots. Was it? Absolutely. Are some of our elites victims of Chinese blackmail? Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, I don't know. George Bush Sr. I don't know. But things aren't making sense. You gotta ask yourself, why are they bending over backwards to place the Chinese, to please the Chinese? Why are our politicians, our media, our sport, LeBron James, our sport figures, why are they bending over backwards to please the Chinese while threatening the Russians? I don't know. You tell me. So a note to our government. One man, one opinion. I'm going to try to sum this up. I'm on 42 minutes and 46 seconds. Let me get this under an hour. Sorry it took so long. I don't know. My point is this. So a note to our government. If you want to send our sons, our daughters, our grandsons, our great-grandsons off to war, or any other grandchild, son or daughter, then you better have an incredibly good reason for putting them in a uniform, handing them a weapon, and shipping them off to kill or be killed. You better show me and the American people. You better show me and just not me, just the American people in general. And every other parent, grandparent, uncle, aunt in this country, precisely how and why those sacrifices will benefit or save this country. Your racket's up. As the Greek historian Herodotus once wrote, in peace, sons bury their fathers or grandfathers. In war, fathers and grandfathers buried their sons. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So I'm going to end the show, guys. I'm going to say, thanks for tuning in. I had a few great guys, had a few of my original supporters, Mike Underwood, James, a lot of people came on that were my original 5 or 6 original supporters. finally coming on. I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank God you're on. Somebody say, thank God, thank you for showing support still all this time later, a year and a half later. I have plenty of shows coming up. Hopefully YouTube don't take this one down like they did the last one. My next show, or one of my next 2 or 3 shows, will be the one-term president. The one-term president, which is actually in his, 32nd year in office. That is George Herbert Bush and the Bush dynasty. Let's talk about the Bush dynasty. George Herbert Bush served one term from 1989 to 1993. I was a kid. And his New World Order speech and everything else is where we are today. Bush, Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, now Biden. They're following it. They're keeping it going. So, like I said, I'm on for 46 minutes and 7 seconds. So I'm going to end this show, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, if you're new to the show, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm being censored, shadow banned. I'm being everything. I'm a nobody. I really am. Just one man, one opinion. Just 475 subscribers. Please share the video. Talk to your friends. Share with your friends. Even if you disagree with me. Even if you think I'm a jack-off. Even if you think I'm a jack-off. Hit like, hit subscribe. Because you know what? If they're silencing me, one man, one opinion, Tim Davis, a.k.a. Professor X, they're silencing me for one opinion, backed by facts, backed by history. That should concern you. And that should make you want to hit like, make you want to hit subscribe, make you want to hit the notification bell, and make you want to see what's going on. You may not agree with me. I don't expect you to agree with me. I don't want you to agree with me. I just want you to think. I just want you to think. That's what I want. So as we are at minute 47 and 30 seconds into this show, I'm going to end this show, guys. Like I always say, God bless. God bless you. God bless America. I'm going to salute every single one of you. Everybody that tuned in. It's amazing. My original, 4 of my original 5 subscribers are tuning in on a show I haven't done, on a show. I love you guys. I love you all. So please share the hell out of this. Everybody know what's going on. This country's in trouble. And I need you. I love you. And God bless. God bless America. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out. God bless.